Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Stepstones Homes podcast. Today we have a very special guest. Her name is Mari, and she is the owner of Beach Grazer based out of South Bay. The podcast is brought to you by Cameron at ADU West Coast. He's one of my sponsors. I'm currently recording this episode in his office, and also 10K cards, which I'm gonna gift you one, by the way. I
Thank
don't know if you've
you.
seen my digital card, but
Yeah,
everybody who
totally.
comes on the show is I'm gifting you guys one of those. So you'll have
Awesome.
your own digital card,
Thank you.
and yeah, and today is episode 30. Oh my God, I can't believe it's been that many. But congrats to us and thank you
Yeah.
for being here.
Thank you
A
for
little
having me.
backstory is we met through social media, and she's been doing some amazing charcuterie boards for us for our events. And I'm super excited to have her here because I think her story is very powerful. So we're going to be talking about a lot of cool things, but I'll let her introduce herself. So Mari, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been just like so much fun getting to know you and
Thank
going to
you.
your events, and everything that you guys have been doing is so cool. Like, I come to drop off the boards and all the people want to talk to me and introduce themselves. It's a nice little like social network that I think you've really built to have, part of your business. I really enjoy that. So a little bit about myself. I'm the owner of Beach Grazer. Really, we're kind of a one-man band. I do have some help from, we work at like a private kitchen, so sometimes we have people that come and help us with like cheese prep and stuff like that. We have little shoe stuffs that come and help us, but mostly it's just me. I'm a mom. I have two under two, so we are just very busy over here. I'm actually a nurse. So I went on maternity leave to have my second baby in May, and things just kind of changed for me. I was kind of trying to figure out like what is this going to look like for me? How am I going to have two under two and work as a nurse? Those hours are super demanding, and
Mhm.
I love patient care, but it's just, how was I going to do it? Both. So this opportunity kind of just started to evolve for me, and I had to take the opportunity.
That's so awesome. How did you, I know that you said it happened during maternity leave. Was
Yeah.
this around COVID or COVID had already happened? Were we
COVID
still?
had already happened. So I've actually been doing boards and tables privately for friends for
Mm,
the last 6 to 7 years. I
got it.
actually, in my first life, I went to fashion design school. So I do have kind of like an art background.
Hmm.
But part of me always loved the medical field. So right out of high school, I got a full scholarship to an art school, to the art academy. So, out of high school, how do you not take that opportunity, right?
Right.
So I rode that out, had a great time doing that. But, you know, it's so fun. Like, doing charcuterie is just so fun, and it's such an artistic experience.
I can tell. I can tell you have a lot of fun with it because obviously charcuteries have become very popular. I want to say they've been
20,
popular, but lately it's just
like
been.
2020.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they
2020.
just like
And
blew
I see
up.
it a lot in real estate. And, for those of you who follow me, I typically don't have, I want to switch up my podcast and bring more entrepreneurs like Mari to the table because I feel like it's a community effort. And, I
Yeah.
was at a listing yesterday. I'm having an open house this week. And even part of the staging in the kitchen was like a little charcuterie board.
Yeah.
It was
It's
staged, right? So
yeah.
it's just part of, I think, the South Bay culture, Southern California culture. At first, it was like, staging the properties correctly. Now people really want to give a full-on experience and presentation, and you can tell you have a lot of fun with your charcuterie boards. So
I
would you say
do.
that because you had already been doing it for your friends, and kind of like your internal small community, is
Yeah,
that what pushed you into like, okay, let me go this full force and start? I know a lot of your business comes from social media,
it
so, and
does.
so does mine, which I
Yeah,
love that, we both share that in common as business owners, right?
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually, like I said, I had been doing this privately for friends. They would always kind of, say, "Hey, Mary, we have an event coming up, or we're gonna, throw a baby shower or a birthday party. I have all this stuff. Can you just like make it look nice?" So I used to
Mm,
style people's food just for, for fun for my friends, and
right.
eventually it was like I was on maternity leave in May of 2022, and a lot of my girlfriends all got pregnant around the same time.
Oh
And
my
it
God.
was it was like baby shower after baby shower after baby shower. And one of my friends' husbands was like, "You need to make a business. Like you can, people love this and it's beautiful and it's good." And
Right.
one of the things that I really, really focus on is being affordable. Um, I This is a passion project for me. Obviously, it is also
Hmm.
my business, but a lot of charcuterie it's very expensive. And so
Very.
people want to have this experience, but not always, they want to stay within their budget. So
Right.
I kind of found that there wasn't that niche in the South Bay.
Hmm.
So, and we love in the bubble, we love to entertain. That's what we like to do. We like to get together, we like to eat together. We're always, hanging out and entertaining. So I just kind of went
It
for it.
just comes natural, I think, at this point, right? From doing
Yeah,
it
I
so
just kind
long.
of went for it.
That's so awesome. Now tell me a little bit about how you put yourself out there on social media and how you've been able to grow a brand. Did you start like, going to small local businesses in South Bay? And for those of you who don't know, I was born in Torrance, so I have a
Oh,
special
hey.
place in my heart in
Special
South Bay.
love.
Yeah.
The bubble is a very unique little sector of Los Angeles. We're
It
so
really is. Yeah.
yeah. So when I started, really thinking about, okay, how am I going to do this, right? Like, how am I going to get out there and get people to see me and know who I am and
Right.
want to order from me? I have to talk to people. So that was something that I really, really started doing. I started, make these boards and tables that I were doing for friends. I started really getting into photographing them for me to have, start build like a little portfolio, which obviously that takes time, but the best way I started building my brand was talking to other charcuterie companies. We
Wow.
are friends. I have charcuterie people in the IE, in Long Beach. There's another local charcuterie company that actually reviewed one of my tables, my first grazing table ever. Her and I connect. We talk, almost monthly now. If she can't help a client, she refers her to me back and forth. So just because someone's in your same sector doesn't necessarily mean that you can't get together with them and
That
make,
is
make that
key.
connection.
That's key right there.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in real estate. So, for what I do in my specialty in real estate, I focus on a very specific niche, right? Which is like new construction with the ADUs and stuff.
Yes.
But most of my business comes from realtors. Like the 3 deals that I have right now are from other realtors. I've made relationships with realtors up in Big Bear, out of state,
Yeah.
literally out of state, up north, anywhere. Like, and now that you just said that, I'm like, wow, same here. Like most of
Yeah.
my business comes from being in real estate for over 10 years. But I would say the relationships that I've been able to build with other realtors, and we also brainstorm and mastermind and see how we can
I
help the
was,
community, right? And
yeah, I
that's how
was
this whole
just
thing sparked. That
gonna say
like
that
I need to have.
we do a lot of that too. I was just gonna say we like brainstorm. She'll bring me a like, hey, I'm working on this project. Like, what do you
Hmm.
think? And I didn't know a lot about how do you quote a grazing table? How much food do you need? What does
Right.
that mean? How to service that region? How am I gonna know that it is enough product? So a lot of
Right.
that came from connections, just in doing that within that same industry.
Yeah, that's awesome. You also come up with a lot of marketing ideas because I think as business owners, you talked about like recording for yourself, but now you do a pretty good job of sharing it on social media.
Oh,
And
thank
I
you.
just recorded before you came on, I was recording behind the scenes of a podcast because like a lot of people
Oh,
ask me questions about how to get started. They think that it's overcomplicated, but honestly, it's just creating a system in place, but also the marketing. That's why I like to do podcasting because you get to share communities with other people.
yes.
You get to see what they're doing, what's working in their market, and the creativity. For me, I think we're a great collaboration because I can see us doing events together, right?
It's so
Promoting
fun.
each other, like we're
Yeah.
both moms. So there's so many creative ways that that you can really do business and create opportunity for yourself. And, you know, at the end of the day, I feel like we're all doing it for a purpose. You're for sure, it's a passion of yours. And then you're also a mom and, you know, of
Totally.
two, and your husband and a family, right? That you have
Family.
to
Yep.
support. So we're all doing it for someone or something. And it's just nice to see that it's been working out for you. Now, what are you planning to do this year as far as scaling your business or growing your business? Are you thinking of adding team members, or do you like where you're at right now?
You know, I keep going back and forth. I feel like that's like the $1 million question because there's certain weeks where, we're just totally slammed. Um,
Right.
I just did Total Wine Co. I don't know if you saw
I
them,
saw that.
but that's going to be, a very large account for me and it's going to be a bi-weekly setup. So that's
Hmm.
something that I've really been thinking a lot about. And more than likely, we're going to have to add at least 2 new people. So stay tuned for
Wow.
that.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, it's going to be good. And, I think focusing a lot on my consistent posting, I don't think I do enough of that. And I
I
think I
think you're
need.
doing great.
Thank you. I think you do really good. You like
Thank you.
you give me a run for my money. I need to
Well,
like
you know what's
level up.
funny is I didn't go to college, you know, after high school, but one of my first jobs, I did pediatric ophthalmology, medical billing for a while.
Oh, yeah,
So
medical. See?
yeah, so I came from the
Yeah.
medical field. I also did medical billing for a workers' comp. I worked like 3 different medical jobs after high school. But then at 21, I got my first job as a receptionist at the Torrance office, the Century 21 office, right off of
Oh my
Hawthorne and
gosh.
PCH. That was
Yes.
my first job as a receptionist. So from there, I became director of marketing for 200 real estate agents in that
Oh my
office.
gosh.
So that's really where my marketing background comes from. So now
Yeah.
when I'm on social media, for me, it's just like, another hat that I've already
It's
worn
like
in the
second
past.
nature for you.
Right, right. And I
And
feel like people really want to see behind the scenes. You're doing great. One cool thing would be to share how you come up with these ideas, how you get creative, right? Like
I
with the
know.
boards and what people are asking for, which takes me to another question. In South Bay, what do you see? I know in one of your questions that I read, you talked about the culture in South Bay and how everyone likes to hang out. And,
Yes.
I think that also helps generate more business, but then also grow community, because at the end of the day, if you service these people, they will want to continue doing business with you over and over.
Yeah.
And you don't really, it gets to a point where you don't even have to, you just attract, right? You don't really have to go out much
Yeah.
and get business. It just speaks for itself through relationships.
I think, the South Bay is just so unique. We're just, we're such a small little area, but yet there's so many people in that small area. We're like
Mhm.
Lomita to El Segundo. So there
Right.
are these cities, where you have friends in all these different cities, but a lot of the beach lifestyle is like being together. Like
Mhm.
we're doing things together. There's always something going on. People are down at the pier, or people, are getting ready together on a Friday night. I mean, I know friends that are in their 40s that still get together, 2 hours before they go out at night and sit and have drinks together and love to have, appetizers. And so part of, what I love to do is I love creating like an experience.
Mhm.
I love a tasting experience, right? People walk in a room and they see a table or they see a board and they're just like, "Oh my God, this is
And everybody's taking
amazing."
pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody's taking photographs and people are now you created, this different type of energy.
Energy.
And
Mhm.
people love that. They love to be excited. And that's kind of I think why South Bay is a really thriving market for charcuterie because there's always people together. So they need to feed everybody, right? It's just such a good way to stay connected and
I
a lot
agree.
of times I'm meeting people at like farmers markets. People are like, "Oh, that's good." Or, "What does that taste like? I've never had that." I've never had a Stilton before. It's,
Mhm.
form of blue cheese. They're like, "What is that like?"
Right.
And, it's so fun to build your brand face to face. And
And
that,
based off the experience of how you're making them feel. You know, it'd be cool that I'm thinking about out loud right now because my mind just goes in creativity
okay,
mode.
let's hear it.
I told you I started surfing, and so I go to Redondo Beach Pier. That's where we
Mhm.
surf out of.
Yeah.
It would be kind of cool. My surfer, I've been trying to help him with more business. And so my surf trainer, I'm thinking we can collab on an event, you know, by the beach where you
Yeah.
have a
Cool.
charcuterie boards there, and we invite people who want to learn about surfing or want to learn about, you know, real estate or entrepreneurship. I think that would be so cool. And have
Mhm.
you know, a nice little meetup there by the beach. And then your name, I love the name, Beach Grazer. So it just goes with the vibe, you know, something.
It's
And again,
the
that's
vibe.
the beauty to this is that I really enjoy what I do. So that's why my mind goes places,
Yeah.
because you get to a point where you really are just creating opportunity and you're co-creating with others.
And I think that's another thing that, I'm like a yes person. And it's good and
Clearly.
it's bad.
Yeah.
Like I'm like opportunity, yes, let's do
Yes.
that.
Yes.
If it doesn't work out, it's like, oh, I gave it my all, but I have learned that even if something doesn't like go the way I wanted it to, or
Right.
it wasn't totally perfect, I've always like linked a different like connection through that. And I think that's why my brand has like it's grown so quickly. I feel like it's grown substantially for, I just got incorporated in July of last year. And I just, I've been busy weekly nonstop. And I think a lot of that is like, yes, I'll do a podcast. Yes,
Right.
I'll come
Right.
help at your
Mhm.
farmer's market. It's such a fun little experience.
That's what I did a podcast last week, and I was talking to my lender, and we were talking about how showing up is half the battle. So that basically
Totally.
means the same thing, right? Like saying yes,
Yeah.
and then you figure it out. When I started
Yes.
podcasting, I had no clue, but I knew that I needed to put myself out there in front of more people and make more connections, versus you sitting there, you know, twiddling your thumbs and waiting for business to come to you. So
And it seems like it's like going really well for you.
it
Like your
is. It honestly
following is
is.
amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, when I left the team, I used to work for other real estate teams.
Yeah.
When I left and started my own team, because now I have 4 girls on my real estate team, it was difficult because I was solo for a while. So I was trying to figure out my structure. You know, as a business owner,
Yeah,
nobody
it's
tells you what to do. You don't
hard.
clock in, you don't clock out. But then also, if you don't work, you don't get results. So I had to create a structure for myself, and my structure is my life literally revolves around my son. So I drop him off at school. I have a very limited amount of time for me to actually time block, to do these podcasts, to do work, and then at
Yes.
2 o'clock I go pick him up, and then it's mom life. So how do
Yes.
you juggle mom life? You know, I'm a single parent, so I can only imagine. It's like 2 kids. I have one, and I can barely keep up. Two under
So
two.
yes, I have a 2-year old and a 7-month old.
Oh my God.
Yes, so I am in the thick of it. We are busy over here, but I have a really amazing husband. He does work a lot. He works in the refinery industry, so
Okay.
he's working like 13 to 16-hour shifts. He's gone, working 13 to 14 days straight at a time. So I think a lot of it has to do with like time management, right? So
Right.
I know like I get up an hour to 2 hours early before everybody in my house. And I know like you're tired and that sounds insane, but it's the only way for me to do it. I get up early, I
Hmm.
check all my emails, I do everything like urgent right in the morning. And then the kids get up and my 2-year old, he goes to like preschool. And so he's gone Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9 to 2. So that gives
Nice.
me, yeah, that gives me, an opportunity. I start production. Get all the boards ready for that day. We've invested in a couple of things to make my life a little bit easier. We have a commercial fridge. We have things like that so we can store
Mm.
things safely and temperature controlled. So I think it's just time management, honestly. I mean,
Yeah,
my
it's time management. And what I tell a lot of people is you're also time managing your thoughts, right? Because offline, you and I talked about our kids getting sick and things
oh
like that.
yeah,
And how do we still function when the people that we love the most are maybe not having the best day, or
Yeah.
they're in pain or whatever. Sometimes when my son's not feeling well, or even if he's not in a good mood, it throws me off. And nothing throws me off but him, right? Because I
Well,
can
he's
deal with
your heart.
clients. I can, yeah, exactly. I can
Yeah.
deal with clients maybe not being in a good mood, or other people that's around me. I'm very good at blocking the noise. But when it comes to our kids, I think it's like that weak spot, so kudos to you, and to
Thank
a lot of moms
you.
out there who, I think our kids are our biggest accountability partners. Like there's days
Totally.
when I don't want to get up, when I don't want to get up earlier, but
Mhm.
that is the only time that you have to get shit done.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
otherwise
Seriously.
you're shooting yourself in the foot, because you can't get it done later in the day. So I think being a mother has also helped me create a lot of structure. I probably wouldn't be as efficient with my time if we didn't have to go with the kids too.
Well, it's like you're kind of forced into that, right?
You
So
are. Hmm.
it's like if I don't do, and you have to do it.
Right.
So what we're doing is, we're going out there and we're trying to make something for them too.
Exactly.
So we
Exactly.
have we have their, like you said, our accountability with your clients and your podcast and everything that you have. Like it's you just have to do it.
You have
So
to do it, and you only have a certain amount of time to do it throughout the day. So yeah, I think for me it's also that's what's worked, is time management, and time management on not just the activities that you're doing, but also your thoughts. So when I'm present here with you right
yes,
now. When I'm a mom, I'm literally a mom, and I
yeah,
don't really let work interfere either, because I've had to learn that, as an entrepreneur, just to disconnect and really also give myself time when I have my own time to
yeah.
recharge, which for me it's been surfing. That's been super therapeutic for me. Very. Even
It's
though
so
it's
fun. I
it's a
used to
workout, but it's fun. And I love
it's a
the
good
beach.
workout.
It's a good workout. Yeah, I love the beach. I love meditating and doing breath work and all that by the beach. So, one of the other things that we did talk about was real estate. So, because most of the people that come on the show are real estate related, and we switched it up on this one.
We
I
did.
wanted to still get your take on real estate, what you think of, real estate in general, especially in the South Bay. I think one, it's at a higher price point. I recently sold one over 1 million in PV, or close to PV. It's like South Torrance slash
Okay,
PV.
yeah.
Very expensive properties there, but such beautiful neighborhoods, such great school district. What kind of opportunities has that opened up for you? Like, have you collaborated with other realtors? I know you talked about, there was a KW office, right? That you were doing events
Yeah.
for. Like, can you touch on that? And I think for any realtor, I have a lot of realtors that listen to this podcast as well. I think it would be smart for you guys to collaborate with somebody like her. And she mentioned that she's now in collaboration with other charcuterie boards and other locations. So you're like the one-stop shop for anywhere.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in October of 2022, I think,
You're
we
good
were,
with dates, by the way. I would not know my dates like that.
thank you. It's the nurse brain, you
Yeah,
got the
seriously.
numbers,
Yeah.
they have to
Mhm.
stick.
Yeah.
Um, I got contacted by Keller Williams to do their lunch and learns. So I was working
Mm,
with the South Bay Keller Williams office, and what
mhm.
we would do is we would provide them like little boards or little personalized boxes for their lunch and learns, just to give like a little something to the agents. And a lot of the agents, they ended up coming back later and being like, I need something set up in a home. Um,
Right.
I'm going to have an open house in a week. Can you do this for me? And I think, the South Bay, we are down to earth and we are casual, but there is like the sense of luxury that we like long
Yes.
for, right? We love beautiful things. We love to feel like, oh, this is, something great or grand, or, we like nice stuff. It's just part of the beach lifestyle. And so, having charcuterie is something that nobody turns down a meat and cheese board. Okay. So
Never. Hmm.
people love to come in and have that as an option when they're doing open houses, or to even envision, like, this is what it would look like if I was entertaining in this space. And
Exactly. Yeah.
a lot of the agents, have come and other agents have seen it and been like, that's a really good idea. I'm going to start doing that in my property. And even if I'm, not in that area or I can't help them, I have no problem sending them to someone who can help them in their location. So I think, you know, I'm a real person. I want to be treated, down to earth and have somebody, that can help me pass me on along to someone who can. And I'm
Right.
really good about returning all my calls and text messages and emails. I get busy being a mom. From 4 to 7 is a bad hour, but after that, I do best
Well,
during
you'll
the
get a
call.
response early in the morning.
Yeah. But I think around here, I think a lot of our real estate from someone who doesn't have tons of real estate experience, but what I've noticed is it has a lot to do with like our school district.
Mm-hmm.
We have like
Yes.
really good schools, and some of the places I think like, oh, well, this is a great neighborhood, but it all goes back to the schools, and our schools are rated really well. And I'm just, I'm curious to, do you think that that's driving the market a lot around here because we
Oh,
are kind of
definitely.
tight?
Definitely. I think the market, the location, you kind of froze there. Can you hear me? Oh, you kind of froze there.
You too. I'm back.
Okay, we're back. Okay. What was I saying? Yeah, so I think in South Bay, it's definitely the school district. You have a lot of hospitals nearby, and what's
That's
become
true.
very popular is corporate stays and travel nurses. So instead of Airbnb out your property, or let's say your second unit in the back, which is what I specialize in, is renting it out to travel nurses. So you being in the medical field, what they do is they reach out to these travel agencies, or recruiters that work with the
Yeah.
travel agencies. And if there's a huge demand for travel nurses in that market, then they're renting them out to travel nurses for 3 to 6 months at a time.
Oh,
So
wow.
some 3 bedrooms, for example, or 2 bedrooms, you can sometimes rent them out per room because a lot of the nurses are traveling together.
Right. They're coming in and
Or
out.
right, or traveling in couples or whatever the case may be. But I did a podcast, not a podcast, I did a webinar with one of my friends, who's a MTR specialist, which is that's what you refer to as a midterm rental expert. And he
Okay.
comes from the healthcare industry. So I think what he does is great because he caters to travel nurses or people in corporate, or agencies. But yeah, I mean, all that is a great strategy in South Bay because you have different price points, but it's like you said, it's a very luxury. I forgot how you mentioned it in your paragraph, but you said like a luxury cool vibe, or luxury but chill at the same time. And that's so true,
I probably said it was like a casually
Casual.
luxurious.
Yes, yes, that's what you said. Yeah, I read it. But yeah, that's the vibe that I get from South Bay, and that's why I like it. I spend a lot of time there, believe it or not, because I live in Long Beach. San Pedro's not far from me. I like to go
No.
hiking to Del Cerro Park and
Oh,
PV. I
yeah.
love the St. Vincent hike. That's one of my
Up
favorite,
in PV, right?
up in PV.
Yeah, so beautiful.
It's so beautiful. I mean, like you said, a lot of people don't really know South Bay. You guys should get to know South Bay a lot more and just get to see the beautiful real estate that we have. I think that what you're doing is great. You're bringing a lot of value to the community because
Thank
you
you.
actually enjoy what you do, and
Thank
I see
you.
you working and collaborating with a lot of realtors or even other business owners.
Yeah. I
So
love my realtors.
yeah, I think doing
Yeah.
an event specifically for realtors would be really dope, where you share, 2 or 3 different concepts that would help
Okay.
them. Because here's the thing, not every realtor is creative in what they do, and not every realtor is a good marketer. Sometimes you have to show them and give them a vision, right? And give them a
Yeah.
good customer experience. Like when I do these events, I put a lot of thought into it, right? I want to have the charcuterie. I want to have the drinks. I want to have, the presentations, the slides, the people, the sponsors. And it's a full on experience. It's not just about people coming to see me speak. I want them to enjoy themselves and have a good time and meet other people. And the charcuterie board, everybody is always like taking selfies or they're taking pictures of it. It's like the highlight of the event. And I see that everywhere I go, especially, you know, here in South Bay. So I think that what you're doing is great. And I can see that you're probably going to scale pretty quickly because it just takes, you know, a few of those, what was it? The wine,
The Total Wine
the
Company in
Total Wine
Redondo.
Company. You just need a few of those to stay busy for the rest of the year.
I didn't even know I'm from the South. This is how the South Bay works.
Yeah.
I'm from here. I have been here my whole entire life. I
Mhm.
did not know that they hold monthly like wine classes, which is
Yeah.
so fun. You can like do wine tasting right down the
Mhm.
street. And I know Long Beach has one too that
Yes. Yes.
they do like monthly classes where you can go and learn. And
And
another
what's cool
thing,
is that you can, by you doing that at that Total Wine, you can use that to leverage in other Total Wines. So you can go knock on doors at other Total Wines and say, hey, I've already done this event and this was our result, and this is what, you know, how we cater to our local community. And because of the fact that you've already worked with one, it would make total sense for them to say, okay, well, work with us too. And now you create a chain of clients that are
yeah.
repeated clients, right? Yeah.
Right. And that's the end goal, right? We all want that like
Mhm.
reoccurring, client to
Business,
keep coming back. Like you
right?
and I, we've built, such a great
Relationship.
a
Hmm.
relationship, it's becoming like a well-oiled machine. And I
Right.
I really enjoy that and the people that I get to meet through, and just all your experience that you provide through your podcast and through your social media. Um, I think it's really important to acknowledge how much you do and how far
Thank
like you're
you.
growing so much, and you're a mom and it's got to be hard at times too, but keep surfing.
Keep surfing, seriously.
Keep
And
surfing,
it
keep
helps,
swimming.
you know, to have other moms to relate to and share it with. So I was really excited that we talked about a lot today. I think we shared mom life, real estate life, entrepreneurship. It's not easy. I don't think it's for everyone sometimes. But I also think that everybody should give it a shot and everybody should try, because had you not tried in May of 2022, right, when during
Yeah.
your maternity leave, you wouldn't have the success that you've had in just a year. So imagine 2 years, 3 years, it's just going to go up and up and up from here on out, because you're building community, while at the same time you're giving people experiences that they can rave about and go and talk to other people about, so.
Yeah, and I think, everyone should, if you're not familiar with the South Bay, you should come and take a walk. I mean, we're really unique. You can,
Mhm.
part of one of the great things about us, which I'm sure you've, noticed when you're selling homes in this area, is you can literally walk from Torrance Beach to Manhattan Beach.
Mhm.
You can walk on the Strand and see all the different cities and pop into all the different shops, and there's things to do in an afternoon.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
there's so many opportunities to meet people and to get out there. And, when you're an entrepreneur, like you just have to talk to people about things. It's like getting out there and just telling people like, this is what I'm trying to do. What do you think about this? Talk about your projects, post. You have to like not be worried about posting.
That's
That's
one thing. You
yeah.
cannot have that fear mentality. I think even to this day, I'll tell people, I'm completely honest. There's times when I second guess myself when I'm posting, but
Absolutely.
I have this 5-second rule where I don't give a shit. Like, I'm posting it and I'm not looking back, and I'm not going to hear myself, because I hate listening to myself and I
Yeah.
hate watching myself. But it's not about me. It's about, connecting with other people. And
Mhm.
I think that when people hear you speak, you're going to gravitate towards people that like you. And
Right.
the ones that don't want to do business with you or don't understand the mom life that you have to balance out, right? Like,
Right.
I think it goes both ways. We also want to work with like-minded people that are going to make our life
100%.
easier.
Yeah.
We're not here to create friction and work with people that don't want to work with you. I'm not in that type of business. So I think sharing what we do for a living, but then also what motivates us is what really makes the connection. So I have a meetup coming up in Redondo Beach, actually,
Oh,
which I'll
maybe
send you
I'll
the
pop
details.
in.
Yeah, I'll send you the details because what I'm thinking is I'll have you come by, and if that one's gonna be a whole bunch of realtors. I'm speaking in front of the Realtors Association. So we can have you come on by and then maybe give an introduction
I
and
would
share
love
a little bit
that.
about what you do. I think that would be really cool. And I'll give you
I
a
would love that.
yeah. So I'll send you the details. That one's coming up on the 29th. For now, make sure you guys follow Mari. And did you want to give them your Instagram handle, how people
Yeah.
can connect with you and place orders and all that good stuff?
Totally. So the best way to see, what I do is to go to Beach Grazer. That's our handle on Instagram, and everything's there. I have my personal phone number, I have my website, all the things that you guys are interested in, you can see there. If you
Mhm.
did want to place an order from the podcast, just send me a message on IG and mention this podcast, and I will give you a discount on your next order. Um, it's really
That's
like
a good one. Yes, that's I think, for other realtors watching or just people in general, you don't have to be a realtor, but when you want to bring value to people, and I was going to ask you about that, could we set up some sort of discount code so that
yeah,
if I send people
absolutely.
your way, you actually we everybody benefits from it, and I think it helps people just give them a small discount for showing support. And I think it's a great way for
Absolutely.
people to collaborate, right? So I'm gonna put that. I just recorded that. I'm gonna put it on my Instagram. So
Okay, good. And I'll provide you after this, I'll provide you with a code that you can link for people and other agents that want to try it. And they can see, what the hype's all about.
yes.
Right?
Okay, perfect. That works. I love that. Well, thank you so much. I know that
Thank
you have mom
you.
life. So
Mom
I'm
life.
gonna let you get back to mom life. I'm gonna get some work done. And we're gonna also release this on Friday. So I really want to thank all of you guys for being here. Make sure you guys follow her, make sure you guys place your orders, and we'll stay tuned because we're gonna be doing more collabs soon. So we'll, just stay posted and follow us on Instagram. Thank you again,
Yay.
Maddie.
Can't wait to come back.
Thank
Bye.
you so much. All right. You have a great day.
You
Bye.
too. Bye.